Not very good. Not very bad either. We were talking about that just previous. Do not even judge the judger. Funny. Allowing complete relaxing on all card structure. Allowing everything to be seen as pure emptiness. As it is. As it is pure emptiness. So I'm happy to talk to you again this morning. My foot feels a little better now. I hope that it'll feel better for the day. It feels way better right now. Maybe because I relaxed it. Really, sometimes I think that all I need to do is relax myself. I've been going to sleep. I always feel very recharged. The relaxing of the frequency. It's like the most relaxed you can get sometimes. And so, your body already fully open. This is the new one. We maybe talked about this already. But your body already fully open, you know. If I move in a way that makes it same as if my body's not open, I want to control my steps. I want to do this, I want to do that. All my life I walked without worrying about my steps. Recently, it's been very difficult. Like, oh, I hurt my knee, this, that, and the other. Recently though, I've been doing very good because I came back into this practice very recently. So we've been having very rapid rates of acceleration now. And seeing that the foot training, the toe training was unnecessary in some way, but also very beautiful because it did train me and bring me through a lot of focus. So I'm very happy that it was very helpful in some big way. But that I was putting a lot of effort and a lot of force, so it could have actually happened in a much less efforted way. Like had I realized that my toes were already open before, then I would have been able to just feel how that was the case through the natural motions. And so in some way, even watching it to like see how it was open would be maybe too much observation, too much control, too much force. And so it's kind of like falling into being the most open person in the world. I remember originally in my first medicine ceremonies that this was very easy for me as I was really realizing that the flexibility of the mind was the flexibility of the body. And so I would throw my limbs in different directions, just throwing them completely, because I realized that my tension point during the motion was the thing that caused the only ability for snapping to happen. So if I just threw it without watching it, it would go all the way through. If I just did nothing to stop it, and I would just throw it and it would work. And you have to imagine that being a pioneer, a discoverer of this information, it seems like, no, that's not going to work. Probably should stop doing that. But of course, I was in a great craze at this time. I was insane. I was sure I was the Buddha. I was sure I was enlightened, and I was awakening fully, and I was going to be able to manifest every part of my dreams and awaken all of reality in the most amazing, phenomenal manner. I was a very happy, giddy little child on Christmas. I was a man that got everything I ever wished for. That's how it felt. After being the lowest frequency in my mind ever for 27 years, wishing to die every day almost. So very crazy. Very beautiful, was it? And so yeah, I was very fantastic in my ability to dream. And all my life I could believe insane things. But I had insane experiences that made it make sense to do that. And so yeah, when I threw my leg, it did. It worked. And then I thought maybe I had tricked myself. This happens to me sometimes when I like look back, I'm like telling somebody about something they don't believe me, and I start to judge myself, and I'm like, maybe I didn't really do like I said I did. Maybe it's not possible again. Maybe it was only possible the one time. But as I've been opening here, without the help of medicine ceremony, I can see that it's, yes, immediately possible that same way. And so I've seen that, yes, all the progress that was happening before is here now currently. I don't need to train. I don't need to try. Now, all that I ever found out before through the progress I had before was that I was always where I am. And so I'm always here completely limitless in every moment. And it's just I sometimes seem to have a failure to realize this. And actually, as it turns out, I actually don't even have a failure to realize this. I'm just finely tuned every moment I'm in because I'm not separate from anything. And that's how everything is. And so here we are resting into ourself as perfection. If I think that I have to express a certain way, that's why I would want to express a certain way past what I wish to express in the moment. Because actually right now, I have a way that I feel within myself. And so right now I feel quite nice and comfortable in this seat. I feel nice right here where I be. But I may start to have the feeling like, oh, I need to be doing something in this way and this way. Now this will provide me an agitation that would make me move in emergency. And so I've been releasing the movement in emergency and anxiety, the focus of having to do something out of necessity, to force, oh no, I must train, oh I must do this, oh I must do that. And this allows a great spaciousness to my natural flow to see that, oh no, I am on time exactly as I am. We got to do this while we were uploading videos. I was sitting down in a car, not doing anything, just sitting in the car. Very difficult to sit in the car for me. Now you're saying, no, not very difficult. This is easy. Yeah, the easy path is the hard path if you have a mind that thinks and cares. And so, but I allowed myself to be there in the presence of all these different things. We had very beautiful teachings come through. And there's softening every day without training. I got better every day. And so I was like, ooh, how am I getting greater at my flow now that I'm not training every day? But I'm super rapidly accelerating into a greater sturdiness. It's the softening. It's the ability to relax into who I actually be already naturally. And so it's this trust and this confidence with each motion. It's seeing that, yes, this motion will complete itself exactly like I wish to. So it's moving in tiny spurts of walk by faith and not by sight, of having faith the size of a mustard seed. Now I'm not coming from here to the top of Haleakala or jumping off of the top of a mountain to prove myself to fly, but in these tiny little baby steps that are proving me in every motion trust, not for the means of proving, because that would be control and force. We told you too much that, but just resting into surrender, resting into where I am here naturally, who I am. What do I want? I want a grilled cheese sandwich. Now I want an egg sandwich. Now I want a burger. Now I want to keep repeating this cheese. Now I want to do anything. Whatever it is I want to do, I allow myself to do this. When I said the cheese thing, I had to say more things to her because I started to like focus on her, and there's this thing. So I had to say more things of the same nature to finally show I'm just looping the same thing over and over. We can move back over here. Oh, I just focused on her so much I forgot where we were here. Okay, that's right. We were talking about how you can do anything. You can want anything. You can allow yourself naturally to be. And that's okay. I could have really got stopped up there and been like really like waiting and thinking, where was I? But it's so silly. It becomes such a funny redundancy for me now, because now when I do that, nothing happens. So I just wait for me to say something. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll start talking here. And that always leads me to exactly where I need to be in the mirror. So I just trust that more through expression, you see. That's why I also like this video channel. The longer we do it, the longer I see, oh yeah, that's right, this is the practice. So if you don't do it for a long time, you can forget. But the cool thing is that it becomes easy the more and more you do it. Because you find out that that's right, it's the more relaxed. I got scared and I went into it first. Oh, that's right, no. Relaxed, I go into this. And so every time you find that it's relaxed, you go into it. You relax more and more every time. It becomes easier and easier. And so, for me, the foot practices become kind of easy. Because even if I fuck it up and use first to try to like make it train and practice, because it sucks to practice foot practice. Anyways. It's okay though. Because it's like, oh, okay, maybe I got pretty far. But all I have to do now is just relax. And where do I go when I relax? To the start point. And now the start point is the point of stillness, the center, where your pure awareness rests and resides free from story or identity. You know, you're most relaxed. You call it your sleep point. For me, I have to go to my sleep point. I have had a hard day. If I go to sleep though and I wake up, my new cycle has begun. I feel it. Then again, like we can do this anew. Which is kind of nice when you like have like predestined sleep points. If you were to think of yourself like getting off track somewhere in your day because of real thought, no matter what, once you go to sleep and wake back up, there you go, good to go again. You know, try again. Maybe we'll have the perfect day today. Every day is the perfect day in every way. That's what we always see. And that is the thing that allows the relaxing and surrender in every moment, no matter how it is. It's like, oh, shoot. No, this was exactly right. No, this was exactly right. No, then you don't have any reason to guard against anything. Even the previous things. I don't want that teaching again. Are you sure you don't want that teaching again? It was a very good teaching. If you do need it again, you didn't know you needed it last time. If you do need it again, I mean, maybe you're doing it again. Because you needed it. I mean, you like growing, right? I like growing. I mean, when we think that we can grow or that we don't think like there's a good reward in it for like, well, I'm not gonna be able to make it through. I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna flunk, and I'm gonna know I'm a failure, and it's gonna be awful. Then it could feel maybe not as good to go through. But we're gonna make it. We got this. We're learning every day, no matter what. We don't even have to try. We are going to be learning. So you will learn, and you will learn at the pace at which you're meant to learn. So go ahead and be natural with yourself. You're doing great. Maybe you don't learn for the next 500 years. No problem. That's exactly right. Good job. You're the greatest. All you have to do is accept yourself as you are. So it just means for 500 years, you were hoping you would learn a certain amount of, information that would prove to you your status was correct. But here you are, limitless consciousness. You are all information. You don't have to learn it. So you don't need to do anything. You don't need to build any merit. You are what merit is. If there's anything that could be called merit, it is made of the pure substance that is you. And there's nothing. If there was a conglomeration in numbered units of how much merit you could have built, then it's nowhere near the limitlessness of your potential energy and expression. Your greater merit than that, for sure. Just in your vastness and limitlessness. A merit built in numerological formation would be a finite farming, and your nature is vastly greater than that. You could call it vastly smaller, but in this way, greatness speaks of a size differential that I don't believe at least would make it balance correctly. But I love the paradoxical nature of reality of being small and big at the same time. Very great. It is that way, always. But I mean, infinitely small could be seen great too, like, wow, you go greatly small forever. Great's just a jumping word, transitional word like that, a versatile word like that, And so I explained which way we said this more precisely for all of you buggy little badgers that want to argue semantics with me. Oh no, it's the marijuana again. We should not be smoking this on TV and be explaining that here at Rainbow Park in Paia, Maui, 96779. Is that right? Is that the area code or? Rand Matthew Harris 592841384. Oh, wait, I fucked that one up. It's 1383. I thought I wasn't gonna say it. Anyways, have fun with that. That's vulnerability. That's transparency. There's no privacy happening here. It makes you want to like change the way you are in the mirror. Like, oh, maybe I should attack and defend away from this natural thought pattern. Hopefully, we change, and I don't go to jail. Love you guys. Maybe I could get a medical license, but I don't have any medical problems. Maybe I'm insane. I thought about that. Maybe they would classify me naturally insane. If I just go up there and be myself, maybe they would give me marijuana for my insanity? Maybe they would see me too clever to claim that kind of a thing. I mean, I just don't know, I'm not really out of balance myself personally, but they may assume that I am because of the things in which I talk about. That might be able to help out. It seems like a lot of difficulty. I mean, I would just go up to explain, hey, can I be false with the law in order to be right with it? I've just never been able to do this. I never was able to do it before. I was like, I could go in and say I have back problems. But I don't have back problems. It was very hard for me. I don't like being dishonest. And so now I would see that it'd be not good for anything to be dishonest. And that if we come to that honesty, that acceptance of ourselves, that we move through everything amazing, easy, centered and balanced, that it's easy to talk forever about anything. Just being ourselves. It comes up all on its own. As it turns out, when I don't limit the flow brings it up all on its own. It brings up the perfect teaching always. I don't have to try. I don't have to make it arrange in its own way. I can relax more and more and more and more and more and more. I can be loud or soft or anything. I can do anything. And the more I less, the more I retract away from governing myself, or the more or the less that I govern myself. That's the one I wanted to come originally. I just didn't like how to say the more or the less, or the more that I thought it was a weird thing happening. But as I see now, as I allowed it to play out, actually it sounded better than the other things in which I would have tried to control and direct it to out of my fear for whatever it was, because I'm able to observe so quickly what's happening to me in the now moment, which means also that I may not be expressing in full. There's a way that you can move your body with your expression that allows you to express in such a fullness to where there's not a lot of extra space for anything to ever really possibly occur. But of course, while you're doing this, it feels like a big actor. You know, you want to observe what you're doing, especially when you do really cool things. You're like, oh, shoot. Now, I would say that if you're being a really awesome, formless, cool self all the time, then your self is going to be much less shocking. Kind of like the path and wisdom, energy, and flow. As you come into different realizations, they can be quite shocking. But you see that you still come into those realizations later, but it's from a point of less shock, and you have a greater perspective of it, you have a greater understanding of it, and then you understand how that original time, even though you still have that crazy shocking feeling from how you remember you were shocked before, is much less shocking even now because you've had a widened perspective. And then you can see that even these more shocking scenarios were kind of beneficial for you. I didn't like the wave that guy, not a big deal, but it's kind of a soft wave you might not have noticed. Anyways, even though they were less shocking, or more shocking, kind of like that. There's less shocking than other brothers before. I used to be all upset. Why didn't he wave at me? But it's fine. Everybody's doing their thing. We take things less and less personally. I think when you express yourself authentically, it's very easy for you to find the softening. So originally, there's a shocking energy. And then as you come into these deeper realms of understanding and realization, seeing that it's okay, you get greater easement. It may still be very shocking if it shows up again, but you understand the whole process of the work through that now differently. And for me, there was a time when I could have stepped into a limitless gateway, and it was extremely shocking and daunting for me to do it. But now, if it ever comes about the time to step into it, it would be less shocking. And at this time, it's actually happening in the everyday life with our practices and our flows, where we see the more you fully let go, the more the body does show that it moves on its own. Now, you might focus on showing yourself a piece of the body moving on its own, and that's when you've come into some realm of control to show yourself something. But if you just allow yourself to be really the precipice of the moment, it's like boom, 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 it'll show you. And as I was just saying, there's not space, when you're full with all of it. And so we've been seeing that with motion. I haven't been working with Ray as much as what I would have before previous, but I had lost confidence in some way in her ability. I was worried about her losing stability. I was worried about all kinds of things. I was like, oh no, I don't know what I can do. I don't know. And now she's just stabilized like the greatest person in the whole world. So no big deal. It turns out that we can work together. But I've also seen where I was using control and force. Maybe I wanted to push this way. Maybe I wanted to push that way. But also when working with others, it's the same as this Wu Wei style effortless flow teaching that we're saying, to where you don't have to control the things you say, you don't have to control the movements you do. None of it has to be controlled, and it'll just go extremely effortless. And so that's also many speaking and teaching come through, and many other things come through. But nothing has to be controlledly led to. Like, I don't have to think, what are we going to do here later? We can allow it all to arise spontaneously in the moment. Just like with the videos, I was worried, what are we going to talk to them about? Well, we can talk about this in that direction, we can talk about this in that direction, but none of those things are the things in which we need to talk about unless they are come up spontaneously, naturally in the flow from just us here. Now, if it comes up that we maybe could talk about it in the past, there's no reason to reject the coming up of that contemplation, because that's cool. But that doesn't mean that it will be the thing that happens later. That's fine. It came up spontaneously then, but this came up spontaneously now. I've seen that things that come up spontaneously in the past and thought that aren't forced and controlled and manipulated to enter the flow at some specific time sometimes come up in the flow on their own. And I then speak about how they specifically came up at a previous time and how I thought it might be good about talking about them. We've done that in the channel. Maybe not here now in this video, but we've done that previously. Now. And so I thought it was funny how it come out. So I emphasized on it a little bit. And that's saying in fullness every bit of observation and transparency, the entirety. And that brings me again an even greater centering. And so before I may have only said part of it, I still would have felt quite centered and grounded in what I said, quite steady and still. But now I've said like this little extra beautiful kickstand, where I was like maybe gonna start leaning this way, but then I grew some roots to the ground, and then that made it to where my trunk was actually bigger with these extra roots growing, and they started my whole tree. It's the very first time I've ever seen anything like that in their life, to be able to explain it in tree fashion like that. But I love it when we can do that, because trees are such beautiful, powerful imagery, and they speak so uniquely to us all. And it really is the tree of life we here exist within, and we will one day understand how we can come to imagery with that. One day I'll have resources to create awesome imagery for us. It's going to be so cool. And hopefully we'll all come into our great realizations by that time. If you can see Ray's progress, it has been under 4 months, and she is about to be my master. So it's very beautiful. You know, we're all each other's teacher, always, every day. We're each other's students. It's very beautiful. I always see everybody that way all my life. And so it's wonderful to see such great fruition happening in another individual. She hates this. This is like her worst thing. She's like, no, you're building me up too much. You're hyping me up. Now I feel too nervous. But it's wonderful. That's the agitation she needs to feel then. If she can become too nervous, then she needs to feel that. Just like me before with the camera. You can say, oh, you're spiting her now. No, 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 no. I would never do that. I would turn away from doing anything like that. Myself personally, I see spiting, forceful energies, clever, intransparent. I treat myself quite well, love and impeccably. I don't like to do anything underhanded, under the table like that. Hidden, secretive. I'm an honest, open individual. I come from the one of openness, my friend would say. Very beautiful. I love Miss Ray very much. And she's so good. So yeah, she helped me out, my wisdom teacher, so I wish to help her the way she helped me. It was a great should practice to see all my rigidities that were being built up in my imagery of myself, so that I can come to a much more relaxed form, expression with everything. I was becoming rigid again. Oh no, I must fixate and focus. Practice, 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 practice. We're always in practice. All of life, every moment. Practice is formlessness. Are we going to fixate, attach, and grasp to our identity, whatever it happened to be? Any being, any place, anything? I wonder if people are attached to people, or if they're just attached to the idea that they have to be. It's very interesting. Ooh, my legs are very much hurting. Moving them now. Became numb a little bit ago. I wanted to hold that form forever. This is my relaxed, most centered, cool form. No, I'm done with it. It's going to hurt myself doing that cool thing. I don't know how long I was doing it actually, but I think it was just after I noticed it was numb. Once I noticed it was numb, I was like, I must now keep it like this for the rest of the year. I'm not afraid of it being numb. Well, no, I'm not afraid of it being numb, but I do know that it's not good for my foot to be left in that numb position. I'm moving it now. Maybe there's a way to no longer ever be numb again. Maybe it's a great grace, though. Hey, you don't know everything oscillates on each other. I mean, I moved my foot from there to there. That could have been a really good blessing. Anyway, and everything always is an equally really good blessing, even in its most mundane fashion, so we can even come into great precision with the moments they're noticing. Whoa. And again, very naturally, that's it coming in. Simply being who we are, being where we are. I think we don't have to be anywhere else. It's good to speak so many things, bring back in. If you're not understanding this because you come in very new, there's been a huge foundation grown here through all of these many, over 200 videos, I think. But I'll do my best to be as full as I can, that anybody come in anytime that they can come in, they receive whatever they come. And by the way that I do that is just by trusting the flow, by not controlling. That wherever you're guided to is where you're guided to. It's the level in which you are ready. And so I hope that these all have seeming context for any of you periphery viewers, and seeming indirect, but direct, meaning messages and consciousness to whoever may be watching this. Love you so very deeply, limitless self. Buddha embodied. Thank you, my teacher. Thank you for everything. Still love you, my brother. So, yeah, it's feeling very good. We've been doing very good. Miss Ray has been coming quite a bit along. Dayton too. We separated from him. I wonder if he's growing though. Every time I see him, he always smiles the same way at me. I don't know. We might have to go agitate him later and see if he's stuck in a loop. It may be. I don't know. I mean, I provide a lot of friction for somebody, a lot of things for them to grab onto as a wriggling snake moving through places. You know, they can get a lot of grip, move quick upwards. And so I hope that we can do that here too. I'm hoping that I can come so relaxed with the viewers in these videos that I can actually treat you like a person, like a being, or like a whole group of them. And that way I can help you see in the same way, you know, because I've been getting a much more full view of what it means to be around me, be around strangeness, is my frequency. But it's very uplifting, apparently. I wasn't sure if I could have confidence in myself, but holy shit, did you see that video I put up there? This girl's so beautiful. Oh my goodness. And Dayton's doing so amazing too. And all these great gratitudes. And everybody that we meet is doing very good. And I myself am coming to great centering myself, relaxing. You know, I can very quickly move this way or very quickly move that way. And I like, it's a very beautiful thing.